The session is about the stress, that how this silent killer kill us, and we are not even awareing about it. We are not talking about it. We are not discussing about it, and that is a killer which remain with us through our entire life, and we remain unaware of it, and nor academics discuss it, nor our parenting have the potential that they making an awareness of this silent killer. And it is just like the loaded gun, the gun which remain loaded, and if we leave it untreated, it surely kill us. It damages our soft organs, and that organs are worth billions, and we never giving it a little focus so that we treat it, we understand it, we do our critical thinking that it is just a survival mechanism, and it is the god gifted, and we think this as a tool which make us protect, which serve as a protective tool, but we never giving focus to it and consider it, and that is the reason we are not even understanding it. And this must be a part of our academics, and its understanding must be a part of our parenting, so that we live our lives familiar with the stress. Here we make stress as a thing that remain harmful to us, but we never understanding that we have two categories of stress. Number one is the good stress, which is acute stress, which is short term stress, and consider it that enhance your immune system, and that help us in a protective way. It is like just like a rehearsal, but on the opposite of this, we have a type, a category, that is the long term stress and known as the chronic stress. And in short term stress, we are exposed to the stress for minutes, for hours, but in the long term stress, we remain exposed for months, for years. So, keep this in mind that we have the two category, the good category and the bad category, but never make the good category also as a habitual. When we make the things habitual, then we remain all the time in the stress. So this is just for understanding that we have the good category also. And this session is about the long term stress, that is known as the chronic stress, and it remains for months, for years, and it damages our soft organs, that organs which make us healthy, which is very essential for our well-being. And that is the reason we become a victim of this long-term stress, a victim of this chronic stress, and this chronic stress become a killer. And we never understand that stress is just a tool of what, survival, and that is the god gifted tool, but we use it through chronic stress over the long period of time, and it harm our soft organs, and we remain most of the time in fight or flight through cardiovascular, through musculoskeletal, and through neuroendocrine activities. And through these three, we remain most of the time in fight or flight, and that is can be compensated, or the antidote for it is sleep. The other antidote is the commune with the nature. And the third antidote is compassion, compassion giving, compassion receiving. And the fourth antidote is the empathy, the giving mentality, and the social support, and the other antidotes are the gratitude, the authenticity. These are again the energy concept. If we follow these, we remain away from the stress mentality, and we remain away from this unloaded gun which remain with us most of the time, and we remain in the stress. Today we are mostly connect ourselves with the stress, and that rush the adrenaline, that rush the cortisol, and through this consistent, the chronic stress, we lost our relation in the positive way with our immune system. Our immune system is just like the soldiers which remain sitting in the barracks when we are relaxing, but in when we consider any response from the nature as a stress, it moves toward the immune system which is sitting in the barracks like the soldier, moves toward the potential battlefield in the body, in the skin, and they remain in the potential battlefield for infinite period of time. And this is the exact real concept that the war which remain for infinite time make us vulnerable, make us weak, make us susceptible to the diseases. And that is the reason most of the time we remain in the disease state, which is not the E state. So we have to do our critical thinking, our logical thinking, that what are the tools, what are the antidotes through which we remain away from these stressors, and we remain with our immune system that is sitting, that is working for our healing, and that make us protective from the environmental threats, from the environmental attacks. And that is the reason we remain in a healthy state if we quit the stress on the short term basis, and remain in the quit of negativity, in the quitting the stressors that coming from the environment. So here we have to understand that stress give us support, or become good, or serve us only in the short term basis, and it make us vulnerable, weak, leading toward the disease state only when we remain most of the time in the chronic stress.